Hey guys, here we are with chapter 18. We're almost at the finish line. So here's our ice giant or frost giant or snow giant. Let's see. I put his helmet on. I made it the correct size and I placed it on his head. And he's got fingernails now and his mace is in his hand. So I think we're almost ready to pose him. Unfortunately, I had to lose his man bun. So, I still have it. I kind of like him bald. So maybe I'll do two heads. I kind of like that. With just that kind of comb over going on. So maybe I'll do a head with the helmet and a head without the helmet. Because I kind of like that. That's cool. I had to make his hair a little bit longer, but that's all I really did off camera. So here we go. Let's keep going. I just want to do one more costume detail before we pose him. I think I'm going to keep it simple. I was debating whether or not to do shoulder pads or some sort of harness. But I think I'm just going to do a big skull belt buckle, a human skull belt buckle. Now, he's a giant, so a human skull will be small, about that big. Don't ask me where he got gigantic ram horns for his hat, his helmet, but maybe it was a dragon. How about that? Maybe it was a giant dragon. So let's go ahead and sculpt a skull. I'll bring in a sphere. Where am I? Append a sphere. Let's sculpt it almost to scale so we don't have to reduce it later. Okay, so if he's a giant, he's the snow giant, maybe Conan would be, his head would be that big. This is not Conan's skull. Obviously, Conan wins the fight in the book. But let's go about that big. I'm not going to do the jaw. I'm just going to do the top of the skull. So let's do that. Okay, let's isolate it. You know what else I want to do is the braid of the hair, but we'll do that after we pose it. So let's isolate the skull. How about we get some subdivisions on here? Divide, 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 divide. And I'm just going to do this off the top of my head here. I don't have any skull reference. I probably should bring up some skull reference. So let's go to Google Images and let's type in skull, human skull. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna find a creepy one like that. And I'll drag this over here. And just get busy. So I'm going to turn up the music and just be quiet for a few minutes. symmetry on. Now, I'm not going to, this is going to be pressed into the buckle, so I'm not going to really sculpt the back. It's going to be pressed into the belt, I mean. And I don't want any gaps. So I'm just going to kind of sculpt the front, almost a relief. I probably should bring in the belt and sculpt it directly onto the belt. So that's what I'm up to. Okay, guys, that's probably where I'm going to leave this skull. I'm going to obviously give him a couple more teeth. But let's see. Let's duplicate that tooth and slide it over. But you see how mirror actually. Oh, I can't mirror it. There we go. But you see the process. You see how it's going to go. It's just going to be appending some squares, cubes, and just filling in the rest of the teeth, or a couple more teeth anyway. So now I think we are ready to move forward. And in the next chapter, maybe we will begin posing. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you like so far what you see. And this is going to be about 20 chapters, I think, on the sculpting part. And that after that, I'll probably do another series after this of chopping him up and adding keys and preparing the model for 3D printing. Then another series after that, I'll take you into the shop and I'll show you the printers and the process of actually printing it. So stick with me if you can, subscribe if you can, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the process. I hope you get something out of it. And stay tuned, because I think in a couple of weeks I'm going to do a bust in clay. I'm going to do a portrait, a likeness portrait in clay. And then we'll do a mold of that, a silicone mold and resin castings. So hopefully you stick around. Thank you guys, and I'll talk to you later.